Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sending my heartfelt greetings to Geneva from the 3rd International Religious Freedom Summit in Washington, D.C. It is civil society-led global gathering on important, crucial and fundamental human rights in the current context, on FoRB, on freedom of religion or belief. FoRB is an issue of life and death. It is true in the least developed countries of Africa and Asia, or in Middle East, North African region. It is true in totalitarian and autocratic countries. But regrettably, it is truth also in developed democracies. I'm sure this UPF event in Geneva is exactly very timely contribution in the effort to analyze situation and some worrying trends in Japan, and to contribute to prevalence of peaceful coexistence and justice for all. On July 8, 2022, former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated. His murderer was Tetsuya Yamagami. His reason for killing was that Abe had participated through a video and by sending a message to events organized by the Universal Peace Federation. UPF is an NGO connected with the Unification Church. It is now called Family Federation for World Peace and Unification. UPF holds a general consultative status at the United Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, faith and reason, religion and science are two motors moving our societies and civilizations forward. Pew Research Center in Washington, D.C. says that 84% of global population claim religious affiliation, and number is growing. We speak here about overwhelming majority of the world population. United Nations is here in service to all people, people with their diverse identities and justified rights. Secondly, peace is fruit of justice, justice for all. Modern understanding of justice is based on respect to fundamental human rights. Religious freedom is defined as freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Article 18 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights is very central right, important for believers and non-believers, for people from A to Z, which means for atheists to Zoroastrians. Japan has ratified the UNHRC Convention in 1979 and is bound by its content. FoRB is a litmus test of all other human rights. This is reason for the importance and existence of the United Nations Special Rapporteur on FoRB. I was the first ever European Union FoRB Special Envoy. After my nomination in May 2016, many similar envoys, ambassadors, and governmental plenipotentiaries have been established in dozen countries like Hungary, United Kingdom, Germany, Netherlands, Poland, Denmark, Lithuania, Estonia, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Italy. Thirdly, FoRB is under severe pressure. 79% of global population live in countries with high or very high obstacles to religious freedom. They are produced by social hostilities, violent extremism or terrorism, or they represent government restrictions. Intensity and character of these pressures rank from intolerance through discrimination to persecution and even, regrettably, to genocide. We need an urgent global action. We need FoRB climate change. Freedom without responsibility is not sustainable. It will cease to exist. Like rights without duties represent a one-sided coin. Whenever we speak about or demand freedom, we should dwell on responsibility as well. This was my principal attitude during years of service when I met highest religious representatives. We need to listen to representatives of millions of people. Many of them are lifelong and influential authorities respected by their fellow believers. In time of crisis, divisions, and growing conflicts, the international community needs to engage all important forces of peace and goodwill for a more humane 21st century. Time is ripe for the millennial initiative of the United Nations Inter-Religious Assembly. And how to establish this? One stream of action is International Religious Freedom Global Movement, which means communication, cooperation, and coordination among governments, parliamentarians, civil society, and faith-based organizations. Since 2014, we have IPP4, which is Interparliamentarian Platform for Freedom of Religion or Belief. Since 2018, there are annual International Religious Freedom Ministerial Conferences. Since 2020, there is International Religious Freedom and Belief Alliance with 40 members and observers. Since 2021, we have civil society-led International Religious Freedom Summit based on International Religious Freedom roundtables. It is time, dear friends, to make voices and actions of the faith-based organizations more influential. On other stream of patient effort, we need a special purpose action committee, special task force, with expertise and trust and with mandate to speak to decisive authorities. On one step, these are major global religions. On the other side, there are important state and UN representatives. Idea should be explicitly supported by religious authorities. Equally, by the newly established International Religious Freedom and Belief Alliance and the International Religious Freedom Summit led by civil society, there is also connection to Interparliamentarians platform. Broadly consulted initiative and thoroughly drafted text of the UN resolution must be tabled to the UN General Assembly by several active and committed governments. Yamagami hated the Unification Church because 20 years before, his mother went bankrupt, and he attributed her bankruptcy to the excessive donations she had made to the church, of which she is still a member. Almost overnight, the opponents of the church launched a massive attack against the religious movement. They twisted arguments, persuaded most media and Japanese public opinion that the Unification Church was responsible for the crime. All intense agitation led to two legal initiatives. The first aimed at depriving the Unification Church or Family Federation of its status as a religious corporation. The second at amending the existing consumer protection laws to protect those who donate excessively to religious organizations. Church members are subject of attacks and discrimination. By the way, Government of Japan is a friend of IRFBA, International Religious Freedom and Belief Alliance, together with Canada and South Korea. FoRB is a very central human right. All human rights stem from human dignity, which is their foundational principle. In 2018, I helped to initiate and draft so-called Punta del Este Declaration on Human Dignity for Everyone, Everywhere. It is supported by both religious and secular humanists and serves as instrument of recommitment to the UNHRC. In human dignity for all, dignity is a departure point, objective of measures, and criterion of measures. Anybody may join the growing list of its signatories at www.dignityforeveryone.org. Ladies and gentlemen, I am convinced that this initiative and message can deepen respect to dignity and freedom of religion or belief for all in Japan and elsewhere. Thank you for your attention, and greetings again from Washington, D.C. to Geneva.